Right. Okay. Is that you, Jordy, on that first reel?
Yeah, I'm the guy that's right there right now.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, nice to meet you virtually. I'm going to put a comment on this tribal thing. Where is it?
Yes, 100%. And then it sounds like Friday is going to be our date to lock everything in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So when you leave the comment, I'll just shoot you a follow right away. And then
yeah, I'm following you right now.
And then it sounds like Friday is going to be our date to lock everything in.
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. So any other last questions for me?
Oh, my friends follow you.
Oh, who's that?
A couple of people I know follow you. Dawn and Taji. I'm getting some of my headpieces from her. My coworker Shanithia, and we just got like other random couple of people. This girl Shauna Levy, she's a model.
Yes, oh, okay. So we have a couple of good connections right here. I like it. Yeah,
we have like 11 common friends.
Nice.
But of course, Easy's closet. I don't know her, but I just follow her. But yeah, and then you follow this guy here. I forgot his name, but we are part of like the same circuit for my yoga friends. My yoga is bestie, actually, this guy, Trey Mind. Okay, this is great.
Perfect.
Thank you for the call, Jordy.
No, of course, Keisha. So I have you locked in for Friday. What time is a good time to give you a call?
At noon, I take up my break. I'm going to be working, so somewhere between somewhere between like 1 o'clock would be good, or after 5.
All right, so I'll call you at 1 o'clock, and then we take payments via Zelle, Cash App, Apple Pay, debit or credit card. Which one do you prefer?
We can do Zelle. We can do any of the above. Apple Pay.
All right, so I'll put you in for Zelle, okay?
Okay.
All right, perfect. So since we have everything here, I'll lock and load this in your file, and then I'll have my assistant just send you a summary email of everything that we spoke about, and then I'll give you a call Friday at 1 o'clock, all right?
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much.
Perfect, no problem, Keisha. Thanks for taking my call, and I'll talk to you Friday, okay?
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Beautiful people. Welcome. Thank you both for joining tonight. That was the tail end of a maternity consultation that I was doing. It's one of my routines. I call 10 to 20 people every day of the week. So that was another appointment that's the third appointment that I locked in for Friday to make a deposit. So, I like to make my deposit or down payment days on Friday, because that's when people get paid. And I usually try to grab the money before they start moving it around, because money flows. So once the money comes in, like money starts going towards bills, leisure time, everything else. They're about to go on vacation in the next like 3 weeks. So I usually always try to catch the money before they go on vacation, because then they're going to splurge all the money. But once they have the down payment and the commitment, then, I could always lock them in. So I intentionally added you guys to hear the tail end of that, because there were just a few things that I wanted you guys to catch. So let me just give you all a formal welcome, and thank you for joining tonight. Give me 2 minutes. Let me recalibrate. But in the meantime, though, Yenny, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. It's been a great day, ever since you sent us that video last week. Everything just been a chain of action. So I'm grateful for that.
Oh, Yenny, that's great to hear, man. We gotta get you in the mastermind program, Yenny.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I have to work to get on that, the mastermind program.
Get that, gotta take everything to the next level. Darius, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
That's good, man. I am feeling blessed, sir. I'm feeling blessed. So here's what we're going to be doing tonight, everybody. Let me just load up this Instagram live thing. But tonight, what we're going to be doing is Q&A. So the format for tonight, usually what I would do, I would have my coaching calls, private coaching calls for my students tonight. But what happened recently, everybody's schedule is switched up. So we created this idea because we still want to provide as much value for everybody as possible. So we just made this night in honor of, just bringing more value to the community. So tonight is open format Q&A. I want to open up the floor for questions. Darius, if you could join us on video as well too, so that Yenny and I aren't so lonely up here. Greatly appreciate that, because the faces help me to, the damn faces motivate me. Let me say that, it makes me feel like less lonely up here by myself. And that way I'll be able to see y'all be able to see me. And, we just go like that. So I just got Instagram Live loaded up. And before we jump into everything, what are y'all thoughts about the tail end of the maternity consultation that I just did?
I really love how she, by just searching to your page, saw that you guys have so many connections in common, and how excited she was about working with you without even going into the shoot day. So I really love that you had her with this excitement as well.
Yes. Okay. Darius, what about you? What are your thoughts?
I like how you close the deal. Like how you said, people get paid on Friday, so they know they doing all their money moves on Friday. So I think that's an excellent business strategy to say, like, you're gonna pay me first before you do anything else.
And the cool part about this is that she was ready to make the down payment today. And I wanted to grab that deposit right away to get that commitment. So sometimes what I'll even do, I be like, hey, look, let's get this reserve right now. Just send me $100. And then I'll just use that to just get that initial line of commitment before everything. And I think this client that I spoke to, I think this is the first proper call that we did. So the first call we had was September 8th. I'm looking in the call log. And that was the last time we spoke. Now, me and my team, we send out emails all the time. So she's gotten a number of her emails, never opened them. And so this conversation, what y'all heard was literally the first call that I did. And because y'all are on the Zoom, I'm actually going to share this call with y'all since y'all showed up, so that you could, it's like 20 minutes, so you could hear from start to finish. That's my gift to y'all for coming here tonight. So I'm going to gift that to y'all so you could hear it, so you could kind of hear the breakdown from like start to finish about like how I went from like introductions, getting her comfortable, and getting like making small commitments along the way. So we have the Instagram up here live as well too. Hey, Instagram, we're doing a live Q&A show right here with, just to add some more value to the community, to just share some knowledge and, share something that, might inspire somebody to go on and do something great. So first up, questions. Yenny, questions.
So I have a question. So what is essential for a successful business?
Okay, that's a pretty broad question. Give me a context point, because that I could take that in a lot of different directions.
For example, with you, right, and your photography business, right? What was your essential focus focus point in order to have your business grow?
Okay, so I think for me, what really helped me to grow my business throughout the years was being religious about the customer experience. So there's a couple facts that I want to share. One is the photography industry is worth $11 billion. That means nationwide in North America, people spend $11 billion annually in photography, right? So that's fact number one. Fact number two is that there are, and I don't know the number, but photographers enter the business every day. Now, given those facts, you have to think about what makes you different. Now, what makes me different is the fact that I bring my personality to the table. So I really tripled down on personality and providing the greatest experience ever. And those thoughts in the back of my mind, what it did, it let me focus on how can I make the booking process as easy as possible for my clients to the point where they might not even have to lift a finger to book me, right? And that's because I decided that for me in my business model, I want to provide convenience, because if you've noticed why Amazon is successful, Amazon gives you 2-day shipping in a world where everybody was like, nah, if you're going to do 2-day shipping, I need that $14.95. And when Amazon did that, everybody followed suit. So you had Walmart come out with 2-day shipping to compete. Target come out with 2-day shipping to compete. And almost every other large company that could afford to do that, they've now made it a standard, which now says something. Could they have afforded to do it all the time and they just wanted to squeeze as much money as possible? That could possibly one answer. But I relentlessly focused on the customer experience. And what that did over time is I treated every collaboration like a paid photo shoot. So everybody that has worked with me, free or paid, they've gotten that experience where I give them everything. I give my all to that. What that does over years, because things compound, is that one person turns into two and turns into 3 and 4 and 5. So to summarize everything that you said, the customer experience was one of the biggest things in my journey that has allowed me to be successful, because I would say almost all of my clients, I can call them and ask them for a referral. I can ask them to do a shoot with me because I keep true to that standard. So whether it's $100 shoot, which I'm not promoting that I do those, but or $1,000 shoot, I still bring the best version of me, because what you kind of realize is the customer, like people will always remember how you make them feel. So let me give you a story, right? I did a bridal shower back in like 3-4 years ago. I went all the way upstate, traveled. It was beautiful. They had it by a nice restaurant right by the water. It was sunny that day. It was bright. Everything was sweet. I did the bridal shower. And when I left and I came back home, I got everything set up because I usually set up my editing workflow from the day before. Now, the day when I'm ready to load up the pictures into the computer, I couldn't find the SD card. So I searched for like 2 days straight, digging up my bag, going everywhere, lost the SD card. Now, I'm like, man, if I don't have the SD card right now, I'm not going to be able to deliver the pictures to the clients. Now, my policy is that your deposit is non-refundable, which means that I could refund up to 50%. Now, what decision do you make in that case? Do you say to yourself, well, I went up to upstate New York, I did all the work, I'm not giving you your money back? Or do you say, well, I messed up, I give them all their money back? What would you do in that situation, Yenny?
I will give 50% back because I would still like to save some money from the travel that I did going over there.
Okay.
And explain the situation because, people get to understand, things happen sometimes, we're not perfect.
Okay. Darius, what would you do? And Instagram, what would you do in the comments? If you did all of that I just said, would you return all the money? Let me know. Comment below. Darius, what would you do?
I'd admit my mistake. Like you said, we're human. We made a mistake. You travel so far. Money wise, I'd do the same. Give them 50% back. And offer them another shoot. Find some way to be like, look, I messed up. Let me recover from my mistake.
Okay. Ashley, did you hear the latter part of what I said just now? All right. Ashley's still getting ready. What I did in that case, y'all, I gave back every single dollar that they booked me with. 2 years later, I found the SD card and I sent them all the pictures. I did not ask for $1 back. And that's what makes you stand out. Yes, the policy is 50%, but the human thing to do, and this is where I operate differently from people, the human thing that I did in that situation was, well, man, yes, I did pay all this money to go upstate and come back, gas, expensive right now. But for me, what was more important was how they were feeling in the moment. And I think the right thing to do, the human thing to do, that money that you're holding on to in that moment of a failed execution is bad money. And I don't want to grow my business on bad money, even if it's policy. So I broke my own policy that day. And I think sometimes breaking your own policy is actually a strength, because now, say like I never get the chance to work with them, I don't know. Speaking about this, I might give her a call tomorrow and see what's up. But at least I know in the back of my heart and my mind that I did the right thing by those people. So as I continue to grow, nobody could say anything about me because I made the human decision. It's not a profitable business decision, but my business is a lot better as a result of that. And now I have that story to share with y'all. Does that make sense?
Yes, right? It does very much.
That was a good question to kick everything off. Yenny.
And that little story made me think about attitude, so thank you for sharing that. That was personal.
No, of course. Everybody drop a question in the Instagram live down below. Darius, let's take a question from you.
As a business owner, do you feel like when you do your photography, the craft gets like washed out? I feel like for me, that's always a thing. It was like, people get so focused on the money versus doing what you love. You get what I mean? So that's my question.
So rephrase that for me. So when you do it fast, clarify that for me.
Like, all right, so I look at it still as like being an artist. You know what I mean? So finding the difference between maintaining your love for the art over the concept of doing it for the money. I guess I'm not doing a good job of rephrasing the question.
So how do you balance building a business while keeping your integrity as an artist?
There we go.
Okay. How big of a business do you want? That's a question to you.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Well, I think it depends on your personal ambition. I want a business that is worldwide, where I have photographers that come through my school and they're certified, so that when I send them out on photo shoots, they're certified through my program, so my clients will get consistency in style and output, right? So for me, it's like, do both. Because the thing about business, which is funny, is that there's going to be a lot of things in business that you don't want to do. So because of that fact, if you have a passion for photography, you have to understand that in my personal journey, in the first 5, 6, 7 years, I did a lot of things on my own and a lot of things I don't want to do. I don't enjoy doing sales calls as much as I enjoy doing stuff like this, stuff for the community, stuff where I'm engaging and sharing knowledge. I love this, but I have to understand that in order for me to grow my business right now, I need to be on the phone calling customers so that I can get them in with me. So my mindset towards it is I have a duty to the passion that I have, and that duty has nothing to do with how I feel about it. That's the first part. So duty and acknowledging that duty and executing on that is more important than how I feel, because you can't build a business on how you feel, because then you'll change how it operates every day. There's a plan, we make a plan and we stick to the plan. The second part is within that plan, you just create times to shoot. Those 3 pieces that you see on my wall right now are all creative shoots, fun. And what I do, because I have this blend of, man, I'm an artist, but I love photography too, but I want to do the business, but I want to create art. Like I do this like dance in my head all the time, is I'll have, like 10, 20 clients, but I deliberately, like I'll put on a piece of paper, and I teach all my students to do this. You put on a piece of paper, or like this is my notebook for my checklist. Wherever you write your goals down, I have it intentionally set up where I do at least 1 creative project every month, at least. So it's intentional. So it's not like, oh man, you're doing the business and you becoming a sellout artist. Because as artists, I think we feel like we're selling out when we're doing business. But in fact, I challenge all my students to think about money like this. Money is energy. So money is literally printed from the sky, right? Once you understand that, money is not real. Money is just a hold of value for what we perceive it to be. Mm-hmm. So that shoot that I sold earlier on the call that y'all heard for $350, it's worth $350 because what I explained to the lady is valued at $350, right? Yeah. I could probably charge more for that, but that's what I just chose to do in that moment. So what you have to do is just like stack the value in everything. So the value in it is, how big do I want my business? And then how often do I want to create? That's the question that you have to ask yourself, because you could do both. Because there are going to be parts as you grow your business that aren't really fun, like having meetings, like talking to people about how you want to grow, like having too much clients, feeling overwhelmed because of that, or feeling disconnected from your art. But it's all a decision. So every month, I build it into my schedule to plan a creative project, whether it's me getting out on the street and shooting, because as photographers, we have to keep shooting. That's our drive. So I don't ever want to lose that side of the whole thing. So I intentionally just do all of that stuff to just keep the balance of everything. So business right now, it takes maybe 70% of my time. Mm-hmm. But then the 30% is a really well planned out shoot. Before, it was like 70% well planned out shoots or collaborations or what have you. And then over time, the ratio changes. So in my experience, as I've grown more in my business, I've had just less time to do creative work. And I think that's just the natural course of the evolution of business. Mm-hmm. But I now deciding that now that the business is growing, let me make a plan to keep creating. So I posted something like an hour and a half ago. That was just a collaborative shoot. And then 2 posts before that, collaborative shoot. I don't even post my clients. My clients live on my website. So I think it comes down to the personal choice of what you want for your business and how you want your life to be structured. And whatever you want, I strongly believe that you could get that done today by simply committing it to paper. So writing it down like, hey, I want to be this type of photographer. I want X amount of clients per month, and I want to create one dope photo shoot per month. And then you stick to that plan, you work the plan. So it's duty. You have a duty to yourself to create, and you have a duty to your customers to serve. And both are possible. Make sense? It's a good question. It's a good question. Y'all having me on fire right now. That is fire. So we have a question from Instagram right here coming in. Ashley, Elijah, are you here with us? Oh man, why y'all doing this to me? All right, so they are muted.
No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm just trying to get everything situated on my end. Well, I'm on my iPhone, but I'm trying to switch over to my laptop right now. But I'm here and I hear you loud and clear, man.
All right, got it. So while you work on that, Ashley, how you doing tonight? We're doing Q&A segment tonight, so ask all the questions that you want.
Okay.
So one at a time, though. All right, one at a time.
In the chat or right now?
Oh no, like ask it out loud.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I have a concern. So where's the balance between being professional in business in reference to like when you're doing something like funeral related?
Say that again.
So like shooting a funeral or like capturing people at the funeral, where's the balance between, or like how do you shoot a funeral more or less, if you've ever done one?
I haven't. So, but let's play with the question, right? Your question is, how do you maintain professionalism during a funeral?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, yes, professionalism, but more or less just how do you attack a funeral? Because like it's not like a regular project, or like it's not like a regular event. It's literally a sad moment for everybody, and you're trying to like document in a sense, but like you don't know where's the balance in between.
Man, that one is tough. So since I've never formally done it, I'll give you the mindset approach that I use to approach things that I've never done. So, and I want to be thoughtful about this. The funeral is, grief is happening, right? So one of the first approaches that I would take is I would have, and sidebar, are you having a funeral client coming up soon? Can't hear you. I could feel the energy from Instagram and everybody just like kind of went down a little bit, man. Some real heavy stuff, but it's real stuff. It's real stuff. Ashley, can't hear you.
Sorry, for some reason my phone is being very unnecessarily difficult.
Okay.
Can you repeat the last thing you said?
Okay, so do you have a funeral client coming up soon?
I don't. So I've done. It's not a client per se.
Okay.
It's like family kind of thing, but it's not my direct family.
Okay.
But I'm going to the funeral. I mean, wasn't gonna really professionally do it. I just wanted to get your perspective on it.
So I would take it so that you can get the feeling of what the experience is like. That's the first thing. In my experience, I have said yes to every single thing so that I can have experience in what it feels like, so that I can know whether or not I like to do it. And that's how I got to pick my niches, which are commercial photography and maternity photography. That's the first thing. Second, I would just approach it from a human point of view. I would understand that people are in a moment of grief. I would be empathetic to the moment. I would do my best to capture candid moments. And before the funeral happens, I would just have a candid conversation with whoever is going to be directing the funeral, because if we remove the funeral context from it, it's an event which has a program, which has a structure. Mm-hmm. So I would speak with whoever's coordinating the funeral, and I would say to them, hey, my condolences, coming with a lot of humility and empathy. Then when I'm doing that, now I'm like, all right, so what's the plan? Here's how I usually shoot events. What are some of the key moments that you need me to capture here today? And then I would lean into that. So I'd lean into the questions and get that feedback from the client or the person that you're going to be working with, so that you can do service to them. Because I think that everything that we do is really based on service. So for me, it's like service means that, like, right here, right now, I'm getting questions from everybody because I want to answer your question the best way for you, Ashley. So I'm thinking about that, and I would approach it with humility. I would ask questions, and then I would just go in there and do a damn good job as a photographer with the skill set that I have right now, and treat it like an event. So it is going to be a personal moment, but you know, perhaps because you're not directly affiliated, you might have less emotional ties than people who were directly involved. That's a possibility. I'm just, you know, speculating right now, but it is really that approach: empathy, asking questions, and serving. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let me give Instagram some love right here. I have a question from Stephen Bunbury. How you doing, fam? Thank you for joining us tonight. So he asks, besides offering non-tangible items, photo/video, are there any ways that you make the most of each client by offering something tangible? So what Stefan is asking is if I sell any other products besides the pictures, right? Now, I do. So I sell prints to my clients. I sell canvases and I sell photo books. Now, I haven't fully created my packages for that, Stefan. So I haven't fully built it out, but that's one thing that I do. I also sell other people's services, if that makes sense. So the approach that I take to my clients, especially when I'm working with my commercial clients, I try to play the role as a collaborator. So when they come to me with ideas like, hey, Jordi, I want to do this, that, and the third, right? Now what I do, I say to them, hey, look, when I'm working with brands, we have to work for a quarter, half a year, or a year. When they hear that, they typically default to the quarter. And then I say, hey, look, we want to work for the quarter, but I think we should just get one photo shoot done first. And then before we even do the photo shoot for your brand, ask this like 3 questions. Do you have a brand identity? And everybody steal these questions, please. Do you have a brand identity? That's one question I ask. Do you have a content plan or content calendar? Something like that. And then 3, what are your marketing goals for 2022? And then depending on what season I'm in, what I'll do is I'll say like, hey, what are your Black Friday plans? Oh, you know, I never really thought about it. And then boom, once I ask them these 3 questions, they have this realization that, oh man, I haven't really been thinking about my business as much as I thought I was. And then what that opens the door for, I sell my thinking. And that's now when you take your sales to the high level, Stefan. I sell my thinking. So the consultation, up front, I do a free 15-minute consultation. When I'm selling to higher clients, I sell a strategy session. So I did one today. I billed them for the hour of brainstorming that I did with them. So just like how we'd all do brainstorming with our clients, we'd be like, hey, you know, I think you could use that color. This outfit would be cool. Oh yeah, we could bring in that. Oh yeah, we could do that location. I charged for all of that. So strategy is the ideas that you have in your head, the plan. Because we all have experience shooting. We know a whole bunch of locations. We have a whole bunch of studio spots saved, especially the ones we go to all the time. And all of that has value. But we've been taught for so long that that doesn't really have that much value and we should give it up front for free. I don't believe that. Now, I do give a lot in that 15 minutes, but I ask questions that help you to realize, because in order for you to effectively sell something to somebody, you have to make them realize that they have a problem. And you do that by demonstrating your expertise by asking questions. So I sell my photography, videography services, Stefan, and then I sell physical items like prints, photo books, albums, canvases, what have you. And then I also sell my thinking. So my thoughts, because Kanye said it, man, your creativity is worth its weight in gold. And I think we should really treat our ideas as like all of this that I'm doing right now is something that anybody could do and charge for it, you know, but I'm playing a long game. So I'm trying to give as much value up front as possible so that I can flip that in like 5 to 10 years and then have like a huge business. So, you know, you could sell your ideas, you could sell the service, and let me add this one in. I also sell other people's services too. So I have a list of contacts. I have a lot of people's rate. And this is a secret in business that nobody wants to share, but what companies do, Nike and H&M sell the exact same material of clothing, right? Okay, cool. All right, Jordi, but Nike and H&M have two different prices. Why? Because Nike has a brand that's world renowned by athletes. H&M is cheap, fast fashion, or let me say affordable fast fashion, right? What's the difference? As photographers, who do we know? We know makeup artists, we know stylists, we know everybody, right? And believe it or not, your clients don't really know where to find these services. So as photographers, I think it's a big move for us to build up that contact list and build relationships and then get everybody's rate. And then when you have the project, you just add on some more on top of it. And then you get more profit from the overall shoot. Does that make sense, Instagram? Does that make sense, y'all? Right? So I sell other people's services too. Now, what that helps me with in the long run is that I can now provide more value to my customer. And it's not wrong. It's just a markup, because you got to understand that accidents happen during the shoot. Somebody comes late. You might need to spend a little extra 30 minutes. You know, the makeup might have an eyelash function and somebody's tearing up. You know, the stylist might need to run out and grab another outfit. You know, like maybe the client might want something extra. So the more you charge, the more you can do for your client. So to summarize all of that up, Stefan, that was a great question. I sell other people's services, makeup artists, stylists, photographers, everything in between. I sell my actual service as a photographer, snap, and then I sell physical products. So that's how I make my money. Good question, Stefan. Any other questions? I'm on fire right now. Hit me with another one.
I have a question. Sorry, my camera's
Wait,
off.
1 second, Yenny. Let me get a question from Eli since he just joined us. All right.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, how's it going? First of all, hello everybody. How y'all doing? Pleasure to meet y'all.
Pleasure.
And all right, so I would say this question is a little bit on the basic side, but more so say for the single photographers out there, meaning that those that literally starting from scratch, have nobody, like, for example, how you just mentioned how you get projects together, makeup artists, stylists, and everything just to create something as well too. How would you go about getting everything started? Like, what is your sources to get everybody together so that way you can get to the project and then market it from there and moving forward, if you know what I mean?
I love that question because I'm going to give you something that if you follow it now for the next like 2 years, it will change your life. Hashtag on Instagram. So everybody, we're on Instagram right now. Hashtag NYC model, stylist, photographer, creative director, everything you need. You engage with those people. You comment on their stuff. You send them a DM if you like their work. Hey, I see you trying to grow. I'm trying to grow too. I have this idea. Your work kind of matches this concept. Would you like to collaborate? That's one way. Second way, there's Facebook groups. So there's this one Facebook group that I'm in called Time for Print. So it has like photographers, models, stylists, and everything in between. That's also a good pool of people to work with. And then there's like Model Mayhem. I don't really use it that much. But then that's the process. So you create, when I'm approaching somebody to work with them, I always try to have a concept or a reference picture or something so that they could see what's going on in my head. And then I literally just hit everybody up and ask them if they're interested. After you get those pieces, now it's just a numbers game. So how many people are you reaching out? You're not going to get it right the first time. And some of us, I watch photographers' story all the time. And I see people like they work with this brand new group of people, right? The experience was trash. And they're like, yo, man, I just need like serious people around me, man, y'all, and blah, 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 blah. Like it just didn't work out. So what that means is that you find the next group of people. Every group of people is not your people. You know, you're going to have more synergy with some people. So maybe you could have one shoot where you just find a model and a stylist. Or you could hit up a stylist and be like, yo, help me find a model. Because you already did the work to find the concept and the location. So you just make it equitable. But just search and reach out. Because if you wait for it to come to you and you're just starting out, it will never happen. So what I did in my early days, every night for 4 years, I would spend the hours of 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. and I would lie down in my bed, in my drawers, and I'm DMing people, hey, 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 hey. And I did that for 4 years. And now I've earned the privilege of putting out a post and having everybody flock to me, but I earned that. So if you're in the beginning stages, reach out to people, like you have to ask. Like you can't be scared of no. Because once you hit the first yes, then it changes up the whole game. Like everybody else that said no, it's like, you know, I'm gonna, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? That makes sense? You know, so it's like, you just gotta reach out to people so now, like, let me take it down. Let me peel back one more layer. You have to like their work. The work has to match with the vision that you're creating. So everything kind of starts with this idea, right? And the idea is, hey, as a photographer, because photographers, we're all inherently creative directors. If you have ever come up with an idea, screenshot something off of Pinterest, you're a creative director. So you have to reach out. That's the long and short of it. Hashtag NYC photographer, model, stylist, whatever. And you'll find a ton load of people. And then you could sort the post by the recents. So who posted most recently, and then you'll be able to get everybody that way. All right?
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
Right. Darius. Wait, no, not Darius. Yenny, let's go back to you, and then I'll take a question from Instagram, and then I'll go to you, Darius.
How much do you charge when it comes to traveling to do a photo shoot?
It depends on how far I'm going and what kind of shoot I'm doing.
All right, so I'm gonna be booked for a maternity photo shoot. this upcoming Sunday. But I made a mistake, which I noticed. I just send them out the package with everything that the packages include, but I do not include the travel costs. I'm in
Okay.
Patterson, New Jersey. They're in Jersey City, and they want to shoot in Lincoln Park, in Jersey City. They're like an hour away from me. So
Okay.
how would you go about that? And I'm meeting with them tomorrow night, because in my package, I also have like backdrops that they decide to do. But like, since it's an outdoor shoot, like in my head, it doesn't make any sense for me to travel with backdrops. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're definitely going to be traveling a lot. So question for you. Let's play this out a little bit more. Did you give them a price already?
Yes, I did through email, because they found me through the booking button on
Okay.
my English, but the booking tab on my website, that's where they
Mhm.
find me on. And that's the first thing they ask, how much did I charge for my maternity sessions?
And did you give the price up front?
Yes, I did.
So you took a L.
Yes, right.
Yeah, because you didn't take the time out to figure out what they want. You dropped the ball.
I mean, they still interested because we have been talking back and forth. And like,
So they have no objections about your price.
no objections.
Now, my thing is, when you get on the call with them, I would mention to them, hey, this is my standard price. So you could probably flip it this way. You could say, hey, this is my standard price for a photo shoot, but given I looked up the location and the distance from where I'm traveling, and I just want to be upfront with you and let you know that I do apply X traveling fee to just cover the distance. Is that okay with you? And then you make a decision after that. But you never you don't just shoot off your price like that because you don't know what they want. What if you say, hey, $250, and then they come with like all their family members, they come with like 20 kids and then like 5 outfits. You just sold yourself short because you didn't take the time out to figure out what they needed.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Conversation. Instagram. Y'all dropping some good questions. Let me see the next one that I have here. Next question comes from Luke. Look here, right? He asks, how do you turn a model you've done collabs with into a paying client? I don't. Models are not my ideal clientele. Now, if I was test shooting for an agency, my business partner, he gets paid to test shoot with models from agencies, but that's like a different class of model. So that's one way that you could look at it. So I don't ever really try to convert models that I've collaborated with into customers. What I do though, I use them as a networking base. So that networking base is these photographers are now in my network, and now I have an opportunity to expand my network with them. So my play for my business is that models that I collaborate with are strictly collaborations. And then if they do decide to book me, so once they're in my contact list, they get email blasted from me every month right up until the year's end. Some of them have decided on their own volition to book me for a photo shoot, but they're not my ideal client. If they are your ideal client, look here, I know your name, fam, but if they are your ideal client, I would really think long and hard about the type of clients, the type of models that you want, because then you could break that down into categories. You have like your video vixen models, which you could definitely package up like OnlyFans or boudoir content. There's models that are test shooting for agencies. But the tricky part about agency models is that they kind of come with a certain standard and they're not really expecting to pay. So given that they don't really expect to pay, I don't usually try to sell them, but I just usually try to build the relationship with them so that if in the event I do have a photo shoot that I'm doing, like I said before in the previous question, I can add their rates to my project because I have the relationship. And then the designer, the brand, whoever gets a dope model, I have a relationship with them. If they give me a price and it's reasonable for the budget of the client, I'll double it up or 2.5 or triple it up. And then now I have a dope expert model that I can look in this brand and say, hey, look, I have a model from this agency. And they're going to make your products look good because they were featured in the Sephora campaign last week. Oh my God, that's so dope, Jordi. And then, you know, I build off of that, but I never try to turn models into paying clients. It's not my go-to strategy personally, but there's plenty of ways to do that. I just don't usually try to do that. Darius, back to you.
All right, so you mentioned earlier about the idea of having to ask and not being afraid of no, right? So that, I guess, all ties into like a fear, like being creative. How do you fight that feeling of fear of like pushing your work out and continuing your business?
What I used to do when I was really nervous about how my pictures would get received, I would just post my pictures on Instagram and then like quickly swipe up and close the app. And then over time, I got over it. And I say that, and it sounds like so stupid, but the fear of posting it boils down to the fear of what people think about you. And I think as photographers, we have to understand that your work is not for everybody. And the minute that you try to make your work for everybody, it becomes diluted. People gravitate to my work because of my style. And my style is something that I developed over time. Now, there's a point, for 4 years of doing photography, I did not retouch photos at all. So I would literally take my pictures and grab them from Lightroom and then just throw them up on the internet. So for 4 years, I was just posting raw pictures, no edits, no fancy, nothing like that. And that's because from a business point of view, posting to Instagram every day is a marketing execution, meaning that, does Target take a break from marketing? Does Apple take a break from marketing? Does Amazon take a break from that? No. So if you're running a business, why would you take a break from marketing your business? So it's a mindset. Whereas you're looking at it from perhaps a subjective point of view. So the real thing is you have to separate all right, this post, what if it brings me a new customer? Or what if I could drive people to my website and they inquire about something? You know, that's how I think about it more so. So the fear of rejection in the post, you know, sometimes I do have that thought in the back of my head. I'm like, man, I just don't really think that this post is going to hit. And then sometimes it hits, you know, and then in some cases it doesn't. But there's a time when I just came from this networking event, and I had a beauty shot that I posted of somebody that got 13 likes. The day after, there was a beauty expert at the panel that I followed, and she happened to like my work, and she was traveling back and forth. And she said that post that she saw that got 13 likes was the reason that she reached out to me. And what I learned from that instance was, you're thinking about only the people that's going to see the work today, but what about the people that's going to visit your page tomorrow from the post that you make the other day? So I'm laying down, this is my work, and I'm proud of my work. I love what I do. And if you love what you do to that extent, why keep it on the hard drive? Because you're missing out on opportunity. Like, it's not about aesthetic. Like, nobody sees your Instagram feed as an aesthetic. They see in a feed. So they're scrolling and they're like, oh, it's Jordi again. And then they're on to the next one. So I'm posting like 4 or 5 times a day. So they're like, all right, scroll, some booty. Oh, dope video. Oh, it's Jordi again. All right, whatever, skip. And then I'm there again. So I'm doing it multiple times. Like, there's 9 people on this live right now, not because of my good looks, They're here because I post consistently and they see that I'm consistent. So they're here because, man, like this guy, he always is like posting. So he probably must have something decent to say. So that's why I do it. For the larger outcome. Does that answer the question for you?
Yeah, it does. Because I know for me, I wouldn't say I'm fearful about posting. It's just that I know I have a bunch of work and I haven't posted it, and I'm like, I don't want to fall for the likes and the comments. You know what I mean? Like just saying like, oh, my picture didn't hit. This work is my work's not trash. Like you said, I love what I do. Love my photos and everything like that. It's just like using Instagram to promote my business for me. It seems like it hasn't been effective, but it's also due to inconsistencies and things like that. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because Instagram and all social media platforms, their business is keeping you on the platform. So if you post consistently and you post good work, they'll reward you for that in likes, comments, and shares. So if what you've been doing so far has not been working, you need to reevaluate your plan.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not have a plan, you need to get one created. So you need to figure out why you're making the post. So every post that I make, it has an intention behind it. I want people to engage. I want people to read my story. I want people to think something or feel something. So the picture matters. And then the words and stuff that you say also matter too. So you have the pictures and then that very first line, when people read that first line, I'll actually just show y'all an example right here in real time. So if you look on the screen right here, let's go over to the post. This post right here, it got 47 comments and 300 and something likes. Let me expand that. All because I asked, what should I title these photos? So now the comments are responding to what I asked them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Or here, this is one of my favorite ones here. And Instagram, what I'm doing right now, I'm just showing people how I get my engagement and just keep people involved in it. But post the work, man, because the posting, the more you post, you will understand what people like more.
Mm.
So if you don't post, you don't have anything to evaluate it against except your own subjective thoughts. So I try to put as much out, and I'll even show you again too. All my Wait, what is that?
I'm sorry, I'm at work.
Oh, okay, no problem, man. So you see right here, this video got 237 likes. Now this video, all I did in this video right here,
if I like rolls, and I was like, baby, I only like my rolls with butter on them. So I took the rolls off the neck, put some butter on them, and then voila.
All I did was sit by my computer, bro, and I pointed the camera to the screen and I recorded this video. And it got 5,000, 6,000 views now. Meanwhile, I bust my ass for this video.
That video, that was dope. I like that too.
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post this again tomorrow with a different song.
Mm-hmm.
And a different order of the clips. Because something in this video people did not like. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to post it again. Meanwhile, some people will be like, man, it didn't get no love. I'm never going to post this again. Mm-hmm. I'm going to post this video 4 or 5 more times.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep posting.
All right.
Let's see the chat right here. Eli, question.
Yeah, actually, about that, it's about the last conversation we just had right now. What you just mentioned. I actually got a lot of questions for that. So remember when you said that we've been 4 years ago, right? 4 years ago that you was just posting up content. Like you was just not editing them. You just took the pictures, seen what you like, you posted up on Instagram, right? And boom, we got content going on. We got quality. But the thing about that, and I feel about is the fact that, we're talking about Instagram that was 4 years ago. And now we're talking about now where Instagram is like, everybody want to see quality. Everybody want to see videos. And if you're not giving that kind of fee, then it's like, nobody really want to engage with you because they're probably like, oh, this person don't know what he's doing. He's just taking photos and just posting it up. Or he's taking his videos and, he's just making random things to post it up and stuff. So it's just like, how do we overcome that if we're in such of a demanding time and age now where people just want quality overall of everywhere?
That's subjective, one. So you have to take that thought out your head, because if you look on what works on Instagram, if you go to everybody after this video, go to Bath and Body Works' page, right? Bath and Body Works, everybody knows that brand, right? Mm-hmm. But they have videos from people that are recording videos with their phone posted up on their page. What do you have to say about that? Like, everything works. Marketing is a game of and. But now you got to figure out where you play. So if you play in the nice, high, clean type of work, that's the image that you want to give off. But there's photographers. One of my issues used to be when film photographers come in the mix. And then they post up all the pictures with the grain. And then you got the burn and the side coming in. I'm like, no. I studied photography for 5 years in order to learn how to make my stuff clean. There's no way you're getting 1,000 likes on this. But what I realized over time, when I removed my ego out of the picture, I realized what it was is that everything works. Lizzo works, and then Gigi Hadid works. Beyonce works, and then you have Keisha Cole. You have the Jay-Z's, and then you have the 50 Cents. You have the Amazons, and then you have Fashion Nova or Rainbow, depending on where you live. Everything works. It depends on where you want to play. I want to play, now that I have more skills, I want all my work to be clean because I want to attract commercial clients. But if I was playing with people that wanted film style work, like how a lot of artists love the grain and the artsiness and the colors going around the pictures and all of this and that. So they like that stuff. But it depends on what you want to do for your overall business, because everything to some extent is really subjective. There's probably somebody on this call right now that's like, man, Jordi talking too much. But then there's somebody on the other end that's like, yo, like he's just saying some good stuff right now, man. But it's all perspective. So if you look for reasons to justify that people want high quality stuff, and that's not the place that you want to be, then go left. But if that's where you want to be, then step up. And don't complain about it. Personal choice.
And that's the thing I feel like I've been like struggling honestly with. That's why I've been trying to take like frequent breaks, is because I feel like it was just becoming overwhelming because of the images that I put out. A lot of people would expect high quality from me. And if I'm not giving them that high quality, then it's, that's why I feel like, everything just starts to crumble on my end. It's like, oh, I feel like my work is not good enough. I'm not doing something right. I'm trying to do everything I can, and it's just not working out. So that's why I asked that question, because it's just like, it felt like a barrier to try to market yourself and then grow when you got that blockage right there.
So what were people saying about the post that you were making?
It was just like, well, certain clients that I would work with, it's like, like I would try to edit the photos. They probably don't like the colors. They probably just want me to tidy up this or tidy up that. And there's just certain things that I don't know or try, but it doesn't work out. And if it doesn't work out, or they pick out a photo that I might not like and I try to retouch it and it just doesn't work out as well, period, I tend to not post those or just just stop completely. That's where my issue lies at right there.
So here's the thing, and I'm just gonna be brutally honest. You need to level up your skills. You're not in the client services business to serve yourself. It doesn't matter what you like. If
And the thing, I'm sorry to reiterate, and the crazy thing about it is that this is not even paid work. This is people that I kind of just say, hey, yeah, you see.
Boundaries, my boy, boundaries, boundaries, rules, and expectations. We're going to be doing this collaborative project in which I will edit 2 and 2. Everybody say after me.
Oh man, I got
during this collaborative project.
Like, got together, I got this going on, and then you being a little bit too demanding right now. Like
boundaries are set up front.
Yeah.
After today, in doing this collaborative project, I will edit 2 and only 2 photos only. We will shoot at this location from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. If we go over to 2:15, I will probably stay that way for a little bit, but the shoot will go on no longer. And I will not do as many revisions as you like. However, one point that I did hear is that you need to work on your retouching, because that's still an issue. So you're stopping because you don't have the skill, as opposed to stepping into it. Like, purchase a Photoshop class, you know, like level up your skills so that the next time you get hit with that problem, it doesn't happen again. So yes, in a collaborative project, I like to take ownership. Perhaps you did not state your terms up front. Maybe not. And then now they're asking for stuff and now you're reacting. You're like, oh my God, like, why are you asking me all this? So state the terms up front. 2, level up your skills so that you don't back down from a challenge like that, or you get an editor. My favorite thing is to get an editor if you don't want to learn. My big take on it though, is I would learn how to retouch and then hire an editor so that I could know how to judge it. But I wouldn't back down from the challenge though, because what those people are testing you in now, and now this is where perspective really comes into play, is you can either look at this as a way for you to grow, or you could look at it as like, man, they're asking me for too much. Because if you did know how to do it, it wouldn't be them asking too much. You just get it done. But the disconnect is that you don't have the skill to meet the need. So because you don't have the skill to meet the need, you're like, damn, retreat. So then you got to look inwards and really ask yourself, are they asking for too much, or can I not just do much? And you have to be very honest with yourself, like completely honest, like no bullshit. Can I step up to the challenge? And if you cannot, level up your skill, purchase a class, learn how to edit, hire an editor. And then that problem disappears, and then your confidence magically grows. Because the next time somebody throws that at you, like, oh, you want me to retouch? Here you go. Here's your 2 edits that you just swore to do. Right?
That's the other thing right there as well too, is when it comes down to selection. I think that's the biggest part as well too. I probably feel like maybe it's a lot.
You tell them out of 4 pictures, you pick 2, I pick 2. Simple solution. Or you just tell them, hey, I've been doing this for quite some time now. I like to pick. Play my rules or get lost. Either one works. I like to, if it's a collaboration, I like to collaborate. So I'll be like, hey, look, 6 pictures, you pick 3, I pick 3. Everybody's happy. Set the rules up front. That's why you got to figure out what people want from the project so that you can deal with that up front. Because, you know, like the negotiation is probably the hardest part of the photo shoot. And then what that does is now you eliminate future problems. So once you get to that point, it's like, all right, you don't have to worry about, oh man, like, yo, they keep asking me for more edits, man. Like, or like you could say, hey, look, I edit 2 pictures. If you want any after that, then you pay. And then that way you're even more happy. Like, yeah, collaboration, I got paid for that too. You know, but set the terms up front, man. I'm about to make a video out of this, man. Like, set the terms up front, man. Like, you know, Ashley, drop a question on me. I know you got some more for me.
Give me a second. I'll put it in the chat.
All right, put it in the chat. In the meantime, let me show Instagram some love over here. All right, it's all in the details. Asks, how do you set up getting an LLC or a business license for taxation purposes? And what other ways can one set up their business to avoid being screwed by the IRS? Let me see if he is still here. All right. Oh, Christian, what's up, man? There's two ways you can get the LLC set up. You can do it through LegalZoom, or you could get a lawyer to do it. My favorite play is, if you're looking for a lawyer, I would try to find somebody that's fresh out of law school or in a law school program that y'all could build a relationship so that when they graduate, like they could still be your friend. Get a lawyer, right? Depending on what you want to do, or you could file the paperwork yourself. If you type it in, I don't remember what the website is. I just had somebody do it for me because time is of the essence these days. So now, once you get the LLC, let me just pull up the question again, right? And what other ways can one set up their business to avoid being screwed by the IRS? So once you get your LLC, you will be able to get your EIN from the IRS. And this is important information for photographers. Once you get your EIN from the IRS, the next thing that you need to do is set up your business bank account. Once you set up your business bank account, take every single expense that you use for your photography business and plug it into that account. So whether it's your Wi-Fi bill, you use your Wi-Fi for business, right? You upload a picture through your Wi-Fi connection, business expense. You make a phone call from your cell phone, business expense. You you purchase your computer and you use it to edit, business expense. You have a website, business expense. You swipe your Metro card to go to a photo shoot, business expense. You drive to go somewhere, business expense. The point is, every single thing that you do for your business is a business expense. What you want to do is separate this and put all of those expenses into your business account. Once those things are in your business account, it cleans everything up, meaning only business-related transactions are in the business account, and then all your personal transactions are in your personal account. After that, then your tax person will help you with understanding what the write-offs are. For example, when I went to Atlanta earlier during the summer for InvestFest, there's a plane flight, there was some travel, there was food, there was times we sat down in a restaurant. Sit down meals in a restaurant, business expense, because you can write off up to 50% of a meal. So say you and your boys, y'all go out and y'all chopping it up, y'all catching up on good times. And then in 20 minutes of that entire dinner, y'all happen to speak about business, you could have that meal written off as a business expense as well too. So once you get your thing set up, consult with a tax person, because I don't give tax or legal advice. Let me put that disclaimer up on Instagram right now, and Zoom, YouTube. I do not give tax or anything related advice like that, but that's the play. Once you get your LLC, you open up your business bank account, put all your business transactions into the business bank account. At the end of the year, you will be able to write off a lot of stuff. Right? That was a good question, man. That was a really good question. Let me see right here. Let me see if there's any other question. All right. That was a good question, Christian. That was a good question. Any other questions up here in the room? Yenny, you're muted? You're not? Like, what happened to my thing? Whoa, did I lose my audio? Hello? So y'all can hear me. Eli, can you? Wait. Hold on, Instagram. I'm having some technological malfunctions right here. Let me check my audio. What the hell happened? Ta-da! Check, check. Yo, what the hell? Okay, let me check this. 1 second. I think my sound got messed up. Yo, I only opened my AirPods for like 2 seconds. Yo, that's so crazy. Give me 1 second, everybody. I'm not really sure what happened. I'm gonna see if I could connect my AirPods to this thing and see if that works. Yeah, the crazy thing. Check, check, check. All right, I can hear everybody now. So now I'm going to disconnect. Can you hear me? Can I hear
We
you?
heard you before.
Yes.
Loud and
Clear, man.
Yes,
Loud
I
and
can
clear.
hear everybody now. I can hear everybody. Yes. All right.
Okay, great.
I was
I
like,
was gonna ask was while Ashley was thinking of a question. So I have some work, in my digital cloud from a
yes.
fashion show I did back in 2020. And I was asking you, is it okay to post all work like from 2 years ago, or like relevant work is better? Since like we're working on finding out what's the niche, I want to also start targeting that audience as well.
So does the work from 2 years ago go in line with the people that you want to target today?
Yes,
And what do you think you should do?
post it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Next question.
Does that work with if you're still trying to find your niche, posting old work?
Yeah, because your niche, so like there's commercial photography, fashion photography, editorial, print, beauty work, everything in between. My question to you, Darius, is do you have an idea of the type of photography that you like?
I don't want to do fashion. I
No,
don't
no.
like sitting in a pit like
What
walkway.
do you want to do? Not what don't you want to do? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that part out. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So,
Still trying to
so,
figure it out.
so that means you haven't tried enough different things yet.
I mean, I've done event photography. I've done
What type
fashion
of events?
I've done a few weddings. I've done some baby showers. I've done one I guess like a corporate event. It wasn't really
Okay.
serious.
Was it a networking event?
Yeah, like a networking event. Yeah.
All right, so let's take a pin right there. Let me ask you this question. So out of the wedding, it was a wedding, a networking event,
Baby shower.
the third one, and a baby shower, right? So I use this skill when I'm trying to pick up what do I like the most. Out of 10, how much would you rate your personal satisfaction from doing the wedding out of 10?
6, because I had to do it by myself.
All right. How much would you rate doing the baby shower out of 10?
6, because there was way too many people.
All right. How much would you rate the networking event out of 10?
I get out of 5 because it was dark. It was like a dark shoot. Everything was very dark.
Did you have a flash?
Yeah, I did. It was still very dark.
Okay.
The place was dark itself. The pictures were bad.
So then now what I get from that is those are your initial impressions. Perhaps how many weddings have you done? Let's go there.
3?
Okay.
Yeah, 3.
Do any of those weddings get a higher rating than a 6?
Yes, one of them does. Yes.
How much?
I give it an 8.
So I'll put wedding as on my list as one of the things that I like.
Okay.
Just based off of your personal experience. Now, I would do that exercise for all the other types of photography that I do.
Okay.
I would go through. So this is a great tool for everybody. It's called a PVP analysis. A PVP analysis, it tells you 3 things about the service or product that you sell. It tells you the personal fulfillment, the value to the marketplace, and then the profitability. You rate each of those categories out of 10, and then you use that as a metric to determine which of the following do you like the most? Now, in order to figure out what you like, you have to experience. So you have to get out there, you have to shoot, and you have to experience to really figure out what you like. But since you have that experience, I would take the best of each scenario and I would rate them out of those three things and Google it. So personal fulfillment, 8. Value to the marketplace in a wedding, I'll put like 10 because people get married every year. Profitability, I'll probably put that at a 10 as well too. Baby shower, personal fulfillment, 6. Value to the marketplace, 8. Profitability, maybe like a 9.
Mm-hmm.
The networking event that you did, personal fulfillment, 5. Profitability, value to the marketplace, 6. Profitability, 7. Out of those, wedding takes the cake. Hey, you see what I did there? So the wedding takes the cake in that scenario. You do that activity for all the other types of shoots that you've done, and then you'll be able to pick 1 or 2 that you really like, and that's one way that you could find your niche.
Okay. Cool. I think I asked another question too. I put it in the chat.
Yes, I will definitely get back to it. Let me just grab one here from Instagram. I have AJ produced it. AJ produced it asks, how long have I been doing photography? I've been doing it for 8 years. 8 years. Thank you for that one. 8 years. What are your thoughts on using freelancing websites for finding new clients? Why not? I think it's a good play. Personally, I've never done it, so I can't really speak to it that much. But from my colleagues who do makeup, from my colleagues who do other stuff, they have Wedding Wire is one website that gives a lot of bookings. And then they have a few freelancer apps that kind of plug you into it. People use Thumbtack all the time. Personally, I don't do those because I like to be in control of my money. So I prefer to have all the bookings come directly through me. But if you want a good way to jumpstart your business, I definitely think if you have a solid portfolio, why not? I'm always down to try things at least once, right? So we did run overtime by 25 minutes, but I definitely feel the good energy in the room. So I'll definitely run it for a while more. All right. Ashley, you have a question. I'm ready for you.
Okay. So my question is, so as I'm trying to develop my portfolio and still trying to find my niche, I'm trying to figure out whether I should do all things pertaining to like the things that I've been trying to do, or should I minimize it? And then, because I know we've been talking about, doing the NYC model and doing the NYC hashtag and stuff like that. And I've been reaching out to them and I've been wanting to shoot with them and, doing other things pertaining to like developing my work. But I'm trying to figure out whether or not if it's like, is it going to just strictly be developing the work, or is it going to lead into like payment or not? Because I think I'm just in the midst of like just doing one or the other.
So your question, make it simpler for me.
So I'm trying to figure out if this year, like the end of this year and like the beginning of this year, of next year, is gonna just be me developing my niche and like working on where I want to be at and not making money, or not making money.
Well, that depends on you, right? What do you think you want your niche to be right now?
So I have this shoot that I'm gonna do on Sunday. So I'm gonna be shooting with different models, and I actually do know the model that's in the model shoot. So maybe I'll be able to communicate with her, because I wanted to shoot with her in the first place, because she actually started me with my photography, honestly.
Okay.
So,
But the question, though, what do you
Right.
think? What do you think you want your niche to be?
I think outdoor shoots and like seasonal things. Maybe not summer per se, but I've done a beach shoot and I did enjoy it. But
Okay.
again, it was because I was with a certain person. So
Okay.
like it, environment and people definitely do matter. But I like fun activities. Like, I like activities that I like to enjoy, do the things that I like to do. So like if we're doing like fun things, I like to photograph those type of things.
What things like what?
Um, so like a beach shoot. I would do a beach shoot again.
Okay.
I shot at the arches, the pumpkin arches. I've done that. I've done activities around the city too. Like I would do those kinds of, attraction type of
Okay.
shoots.
So that's one thing. I think also what I'm hearing is that there might be an underlying curiosity to try and do other types of shoots that you might not have done yet. Is that something that is on your mind?
Yeah, because I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but the fact of like my feed is like covered in all different types of like photography and or shoots, like it's a flood of things, and I've pinned probably like over 10,000 ideas.
Okay. So to, simplify all of that, let's run a scenario. So you currently enjoy doing that type of work right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have a portfolio of some of those stuff. Maybe you could start looking for work with people that are looking to be on attractions. So Airbnb has a cool thing called Airbnb experiences, where photographers, and it's so cool like how it works. There's this one photographer, I was studying her thing, and she has a 30-minute walk through of Central Park that she sells to tourists. So she'd be like, for all people that are visiting New York, I'll take you on my favorite route through Central Park, and we'll stop by the Arch, we'll stop by the Gapstown Bridge, and then we'll visit the Butterfly Garden, and then you have memories before you leave. Because New York is a tourist destination, right? So people come here every day. Like we take it for granted because it's like, oh man, that damn tour bus again causing traffic in the street. Like we see it all the time, so we don't value it, but people that come into the city value it. So since you have a liking to that stuff, you could get work this year.
And what was the name of it again?
Airbnb experiences. That's one place that I would try.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see the questions right here. Oh, Ricardo, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining, Ricardo. Ricardo, so one of the photographers here, Ricardo, he said, Ashley, and this is for you. He said, look for more gigs that are similar, like he said it more succinctly, but if you like that type of stuff, look for the work in that area, and see what you think about it. And then, focus on that, do it for a while and see the outcome. And then you try something else. But you can get work within the year, depending on the work that you put in.
No, I got you on that. I'm just saying, like, do you intend to get payment or do you just do it just to do it?
You mean like my creative projects?
So like for like a scenario that we just discussed, like, do you just do it just to have the experience and or like, do the projects and stuff like that? Or do you intend on doing the projects with the follow through with payment?
Okay, so from this very same person, right?
Right.
Well, if I'm doing a project with somebody that's not paid, I don't expect money in that situation. I do it for the experience.
Mhm.
And then there are some times where I might not have done the type of work before. And I'll actually give you a story. 2 years ago, when I really started getting aggressive about marketing services, I had a client that wanted to sign a 3-month retainer for me. And it was like $3,000 a month, right? Till I just paint a picture for you. I told her everything that I was going to do. I was going to do this, like pictures, videos. I'm going to get the team. I'm going to do all of this for you. And when we got to the contract signing table, she asked me, hey, do you know how to load this up and then sign the contract? And I was like, nope, never did it before. Don't know how to do it. And that type of project, I've never also done it before, because that was my first time really putting together a whole like marketing content type package for somebody for 3 months. When I told her that I didn't know how to use the software to sign the contract thing, she laughed at me. And then she loaded it up herself and then signed the contract. And then she zelled me right then and there on the spot. So I think that, you know, being honest about your intentions really helps a lot. And then also too, you're not going to get paid off for every project depending on the level that you're at. So perhaps it could be a case where you're doing it purely for the experience. Sometimes you might be able to, sometimes when I first started doing product shoots this year, my first 5 clients, I told them, hey, I'm very new to doing product shoots. So usually, and I just made a number up, right? Usually I charge $1,000, but for you, I'll do it for $200 so that I can learn on the job while getting paid. So think of it as paid training, right? I've never done a product shoot before, but I know how to do lighting. I know composition. I know basic techniques. So I'm like, hey, usually I do for $1,000, but I'll do it for you for $200, right? And then I would use that as a learning experience. And I've done that quite a number of times on my journey. So if somebody approaches me and I've never done it before, I'll just let them know up front, like, hey, look, and that's because I'm confident in myself to admit what I don't know, you know? So I usually just want to keep it honest so that way they're not, you know, because if you don't really know how to do it, and then it gets to the point where they see the work and they're like, yeah, but Jordi, you said you knew how to do this, then you lied. But if you told them the truth and then they proceed, then now it takes the stress off your shoulder, you get paid, and then you get to learn. So both. The answer is both, in my opinion. All right, Yenny, go ahead.
Should we have an agreement contract with clients when it comes to showcasing our work? For example, I did a maternity photo shoot in beginning of August. It was very nice. The family has such a great time taking the photos and everything. They love it. And I did send an agreement, you know, that I was going to post those work on social media and upload them to my website, but they never signed any contract. How would you go about that?
Did you do the work?
I did do the work. I think even the work, they did do their payments, but they just didn't agree with the contract of me posting it on my social media or my website.
So why did you do the job if they didn't sign the contract?
Because he was a friend of mine. That's why I still did the job, because probably she wanted to have those pictures with her newborn baby.
But she told you up front that she wanted you to not use them. So why?
No, I didn't put her photographs anywhere. It was not her that denied of me not using the photographs. It was her fiance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, you did it for a friend. They made the payment and you didn't sign the contract. Why did you do the shoot though?
I wanted her to have that experience of having photographs of her and her son professionally done.
Okay.
Because they did agree with the payment and the costs and everything. The only thing is that they didn't feel comfortable having pictures of them her fiance, let me just say it again, didn't feel comfortable having pictures of her and his son and himself online. That was the only issue I had.
Well, it's fine that he feels like that, but now you cheat yourself out of being able to use that for your portfolio. So she got what she wanted, but you didn't get what you wanted.
I took another L, right? So how do you think I should go about that for this future client in maternity?
Stand your ground.
Okay.
Stand your ground. Like on some real shit. I've compromised tons of time in the past, and every time I compromise, I get fucked. I had a shoot earlier this year where the client, first they hit me up, and I have all the messages. They wanted to do 2 outfits per month. When everything was said and done, they wanted to do 12 outfits in one day. Right? So I was like, hey, look, that's like a day's worth of shooting. You want 40 retouch photos? I'm gonna need to charge you at least like $2,500. Oh my God, Jordi, that's too much money. And you actually know what? I have other photographers I could do it, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, all right, cool. Bye. 2 days later, calling me back like, yo, Jordi, like, I've gotten you work before. Like we've worked together, like why can't you do this? We negotiated, and I was flying out to LA the week after. So in my mind, I was like, well, I do want the money for vacation. I compromised, took the shoot, and then now in the agreement that was written up, the agreement favored the client more than did me. In the agreement, it stated, you can't reproduce these pictures to sell. And if any photographer here knows that you own the copyright to your pictures by default, that's copyright law 101. So clients cannot tell you what to do with these pictures. And that's something that we need to stand our ground on and tell them. Because copyright law, like screenshot that and be like, hey, look, you snap a photo on your phone, you own the picture. I snap a picture on my camera, I own the picture. And a part of it comes with education. We have to educate clients on how this stuff works because they do not know. So when they come in with that, he's thinking, well, I'm booking you to take these pictures of me, so they're my pictures. No, they're not, sir. I'm granting you a personal use license since you want to talk like that. Now let's get into legal territory. I'm granting you a license to use these pictures, but they're mine. And I do what I want with them. And the contract affirms that. You understand? You have to stand your ground. The second part is, after I did that, took the money, the contract favored her, the photos that she picked, when I retouched them for her, she didn't like the ones that I retouched, and she put a Facetune filter over it. And then she sent it back to me and was like, yo, Jordi, these are the pictures that I wanted you to use for your thing. I signed the contract. I fucked myself over. I did not use those pictures. But I knew what I was walking into, which is why I'm not complaining. But I'm sharing that story because we have to have a standard as business owners, not only photographers, but this is just any business owner, period. Whereas like, what is your standard? And you're not deferring from that family, friend, everybody in between, because you have to understand that the contract is a written, explicit agreement of things that we discussed before. So any client that I work with, I let them know what we're getting into. These photos do not belong to you. You can use XYZ photos for XYZ. And this is something you need to have a professional look over for you. But the contract is discussed verbally. And the written contract is just the formalized legalese that the lawyer does for you. But the agreement terms are made verbally. So I'm making the terms and agreements up front. So I'm saying like, hey, I know you want to do this photo shoot. So what do you want? Okay, great. This is what I want. What agreement do you want to make? All right, great. I'll get this agreement written up. And over time, you can turn that into a general contract. There's tons of general contract templates that you could download. I would still, even in that case, have a lawyer look over it so that you can catch your bases in a lot of different scenarios. But you have to stand your ground. Everybody here has to stand their ground, because if we do not do that as photographers, and I'm speaking to my photographers first and foremost, because this is a photography show. If we do not set a standard, we teach clients the wrong thing. So you now have taught your friend and her fiance that it's okay to go to the next photographer and tell them that they cannot use their own photos. That's what you did. And what we do affects everybody else in the game, whether or not we want to believe that or not, because that person, they're going to go to the next photographer and then they're going to be like, man, nah, like, I don't want you to do this. And then you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, well, the last photographer, and that's how it starts. And it becomes a plague. We have to stand our ground and just stand firm in what we believe. And what we believe is backed by the law. And people don't know the law, and we shouldn't expect them to know the law. We're the experts. That's why we stand firm on that. And that's why education is so important, because when you know your facts, nobody's fucking with you. You have to stand firm in that, because now the next photographer is going to be like, yo, man, like, what are you talking about? I can't use the pictures, because you've taught them that. So there's accountability in for one, for all for one. What we do when we charge, and this pisses me off, when people charge $50 for a photo shoot, you fuck up the game for everybody else. And it's just like, let me use an example. Weed is now legalized. You know what that means? That means that people that are used to buying weed at a certain price, now the market is flooded. And you know what happens when the market gets flooded? Prices go down in a lot of areas. And that happens to photographers every single day. So when you do that, you fuck it up for everybody else. And this goes for every business. So if you're not commanding a premium price or sticking to your standards, then you're lowering your value because you're pissed. You're like, damn, like 2 hours, I did this maternity shoot. I like the pictures. Now I can't use this. I don't want to mess up the relationship with my friend. But your friend, maybe she doesn't know how photography works either. So she's just supporting her man. And you can't fault her for sticking by her man, because he's saying that he doesn't want to do it because he's probably never done a photo shoot before, and all these variables, standards, stick to them and never falter. Friend, family, nobody, because family and friends and everybody's going to take advantage when it's time. Trust me, because in business, it's war. Everybody wants what's best for them. So you have to want what's best for you. And then you figure everything else out after that. All right. That one kind of got me excited, but you know, like, but it's like real shit though, man. Like, you know.
All I gotta say is amen to that, man. That was a preach, dude. Like, honestly, and I feel your pain on photographers that like undermarket other photographers just for their own self benefits, and like I say, it really hurts the game. You know, here it is that you busting your chops, and then you got you standing your ground, and then you have other people that run to somebody else because they're lower their prices than $50 for like a 2-hour photo shoot, and it sucks, man. It really do.
You know, so it's like, hey, look, like if he don't Ricardo he just shared another great point here. He said like, oh, look, that's fine. That's great. But now I got to charge you extra since you don't want me to use them. And I love that one too, man. Like, hey, look, man, all right, great. Like I can't use them. Double up.
For real. It's crazy how people would take advantage of you out there if you don't really stand your ground. It's a cold world, honestly. It's really a cold world out there.
You know, so yeah, like let me take two more questions, everybody. So it's getting late, but I'm really enjoying this. Real quick, let me reset. Thank you everybody that has joined the room. I see some dope photographers. Who else I see right here? Dre the Don, Nojoke Crocs. It's in the details. Leo Copa, Black Cat Eye Photography, Miss Nikon, Ricardo, Eli, I see you here twice. Ron, Crystal, shout out to you. Jamal, shout out to you. Daniel, shout out to you. Thank you everybody for being here. I'll take 2 more questions before we wrap up. This has been good. Ashley, you asked research a general contract, yes, and then have somebody with legal eyes look it over so that they could customize it for you. Need that protection.
But what is it genuinely like have, like based on her scenario, that's specifically to her scenario. So, but what's a general like contract? In
general, and this is no means legal advice, but in general, most contracts will have the agreed upon fee. It will have the date, time, location. It will have what you're going to give to the client and what they can expect. You can even get as specific as the resolution of the photos that you will be delivering to the client. It can have that, it can explicitly state that if the client is booking with you and they're booking a venue outside of the studio, that's the client's responsibility and not yours. Any additional services that the client needs, they'll have to pay for that separately. It will state that what the return time is, what the format of the pictures is. It will detail how they could use the photos, where they can use the photos, what they can use the photos for. And then a lot of the times it will have like a general release stating that, hey, I'm okay with you using the photos for XYZ purposes. That's typically what most contracts include in them.
Okay, but if you don't agree with like one of the, like if the client doesn't agree with one of the terms and they do it anyway, like what are the consequences?
To them.
Got it.
If they violate the contract, you bring them to court.
And then having the LLC would like back you up on that.
No, the contract,
with that.
the contract is in and of itself. What the LLC does is I'm Jordi, but my business, let me give you an example, right? This is my business, right? So you're interacting with this. I'm the one that's making the decisions, but this thing gets shot before I get shot. So that means if anybody sues me, they actually sue the company. So any asset that I own is protected. So all the assets of the business, this has its own bank account, it has its own social security, which is the EIN. It has its own entity. So you can sign contracts as this entity. So I'm in the back like, okay, where y'all doing that? But no, my business is gonna be on the name. So the LLC is a legal entity. So you have Jordi, and then, I mean, let me use you, Ashley. You have Ashley, and then you have your studio. So the LLC is just an extra, what they call a veil of protection. So it protects you from getting directly attacked. The business is going to get attacked. So your business could file bankruptcy that has nothing to do with you. Your business can file taxes that has nothing to do with you. You know, your business can make money that has nothing to do with you. And that's like a part of it, like keeping your business assets separate from your personal assets. Some good questions in this episode tonight, man.
Thank you.
Of course.
Can I send you my agreement that I have? I wanted to keep it with like a basic language.
I do not give legal advice, Yenny. No.
All right.
I do not give legal advice. So I will not do that. I'll look it over with you, but I'm not going to give you any legal advice.
Got it. Thank you.
Next question. Oh, my client joined this slide. Damn, I sent my client these photos. All right. Dre the Don asks, what's a good price for a 2-hour shoot? It depends on what the client wants. Depends on what the client wants. If the client wants you to shoot the Empire State Building and everything around it, $10,000 or more. If somebody wants a 2-hour shoot in the park, it's gonna be less. You charge people what they're worth, or what the value of the thing is worth to them, actually, sorry. So the value of a 2-hour shoot for a maternity is gonna be different than a 2-hour value shoot for a Fortune 5,000 company. In fact, big companies, if you charge them too little, they don't think you're qualified enough, which is a funny thing I've experienced sometimes. Because what it tells for big companies, they're writing checks all the time that are like, so here's a suggestion, Yenny. Are you a part of the Professional Photographers Association? You remember Pam shared it last night?
Not yet. I should check there, right?
Yeah, because according to Ricardo, I don't know, so I can't verify, but he says that you'll be able to get some things related to legal advice from them. I'm gonna try that, Ricardo, and then I'll let you know. Crystal, I'm gonna shoot you a text after this so that we can set up the next consultation, all right? But to I'm like bring everything to a close, everybody. I think the main points for me from what I just gathered from everybody is we have to have a standard for ourselves. That's one I think is the main thing, because your price is often a reflection of how you see yourself. And what I want for everybody here on the live, everybody that's in the Zoom, is for you to have the confidence to believe in the thing that you offer to the world. And Yenny, put it in the chat what it is, the damn PPA for Ashley, please. The Professional Photographers Association. Yenny will put it in the chat. But self-confidence and self-image is something that will affect you for how you view yourself. And how you view yourself often gets translated into your business. Because your personal life is reflected in your business, because your business comes from you. So if you don't have the personal stuff figured out, it's going to translate into how you speak to people, how you shoot, how you deliver your terms, and how you feel in general, you know? And what I think is just more pertinent than ever is that we need to ensure that we have the skills, because the confidence comes from how good your skills are. The better you are in your skills, the more confident you become, because then you could tackle any obstacle. And I think really understanding the business side of photography, sticking your ground, understanding the purpose of contracts in your business, understanding the purpose of constantly educating yourself and, you know, paying for classes. Like I pay for classes all the time because I'm constantly trying to learn, you know, I'm constantly trying to experiment. So that's a big part of it. You can go the free YouTube route, everybody, but that's one way to do it, or you could pay somebody else and speed up your journey. I'm a big fan of doing both. I'll learn something on YouTube, execute, but I'll also pay a coach. I'll pay somebody to, you know, really help take me to the next level. One thing I'll share for everybody that's here that's made it to the end, I think that one thing that gave me a lot of confidence was this course that I purchased earlier this year for $10,000. And you might be like, yo, like, why are you paying $10,000 for the course? The course is designed for people that are looking to build coaching businesses. And they teach you how to automate your lead generation process. So I decided to pay that $10,000 because I wanted to learn how to be a better marketer and how to automate my lead generation process, how to run better Facebook ads. And what I learned from that program is that everybody that went to the business conference in March and in September, every single person in that program paid $10,000 to be in that room. So you know what that means? everybody is on the same frequency, because money is energy. All money says is, I believe in myself this much. So what I want everybody to remember is, if somebody is not willing to pay the price, it's really because they don't trust themselves that they'll be able to commit to the whole process. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. The second thing is that they probably don't believe that it has enough value because you haven't taken the time to place the value in it. So everybody in that room that I paid that $10,000 course for, they were on the same frequency, which means that the type of conversations that we were having in that room was conversations of execution, was conversations of, hey, like I did this, and I tried this strategy. And in about like 5 to 10 minutes, I got a lot of ideas from those same people, because all of us were operating in the same frequency. So money is just a tool, and money's energy, and money's intention, and money's belief and value and power and everything like that is just energy brought down into the physical world in the third dimension, because we live in the third dimension. So we have to have things that we can touch and feel, but it all comes from the ether, right? So once the money comes down here, all the money says is that I am willing to make this commitment. That's all it is. So confidence comes from the execution. So now when I tell people that I paid $10,000 for this course, I'm like, yeah, like, so I'm going to charge a lot of money because I've experienced it before. Now, it took a while for me to get to that point, but in paying that money, I was like, man, like nothing really changed after I paid the money, except the fact that I didn't understand this, but they literally gave us all the steps to follow, right? I didn't follow all the steps. So halfway through, I'm like, yo, this is not working. Like, why is this not working? I didn't follow all the steps. And what I realized when I doubled back and I followed the steps, I got the results. Everybody in here knows what we need to do. We know we need to have the contracts. We know we need to talk to the client. We know we need to level up our skills. We know we need to purchase the courses, but we don't do it. And nobody here on this live is hearing anything that they never heard before, because the fact that you asked the question means that you've thought about it before. So I'm just being a mirror so that you can hear what you've had in your head the whole time. And I'm just a vessel for that. So if anything, I need everybody here, all 10 people that's on Instagram, all 4 people that are here with me in the Zoom, to execute. You have to execute. The more you execute, the better you get, the more confident you become, period. And that's just the thought that I want to close out. Your price is often a reflection of how you view yourself. And if you view yourself in a very low light, that means you need to level up and put the work in, put the sweat equity in, put the hours of research in, do the calls, send the emails, make the offers, book the consultations, go out there and shoot. You have to do all of that. And that's the only reason for 8 years, I did not put the camera down. Through thick or thin, through paid or free, through rip off or shit on me completely, the camera never left my hand, rain or shine. And that's the attitude you have to adopt if you're going to become $1 million photographer. So everybody that is here tonight, I would love to invite you to my business seminar that me and my business partner, Ricardo, host Thursdays from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. I would love to have as many of you there as possible. I'm going to try to DM as many of you that joined this live. Truly, thank you everybody here for the questions. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the thoughts. I'm going to be doing this more regularly, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. We went to 10 p.m., but that was because the energy was good. And thank you everybody for being here tonight, man. I hope that you got something that helped but execute. I need you to execute, because the information don't make sense unless you do something with it. And it will make me happy if you execute, because I want that email or that text message 5-6 months from now that's like, yo, Jordi, hey, you know, like I did what you said. I made a whole bunch of money, you know, and then, you know, you could put that money back into my boot camp. So, you know, everybody, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you, Instagram. Y'all were great. And I will see you next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. And I hope to see some of you Thursday at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. DM me. I will send you the information and hope to see you there. So thank you, everybody. We close this down.
Thank you, Jordi.
Thank you so much, brother, man. Seriously, that was a lot of information to take in, man. Seriously,
Yeah.
definitely appreciate it.
I definitely took like 3 pages worth of notes tonight, so I can tell you that.
And Ashley, I'm gonna text you. I saw your question. All right. All right, cool. So have a good night, everybody.
You too, Jordi.
Take it easy, man.